Hello, everyone. Just give me a second. I'm just putting my phone up on a stand. So just give me a sec. Whoa. And I think we're live. Let me just fix my phone here for a bit. Okay. Let me make sure we're good. Are we live? I'm not getting people join me. Okay, let me check on here. Okay, we have 3 viewers on YouTube and 2 viewers on the Facebook live stream. Okay, so at least I know I am live. Let me just fix my phone here a tiny bit. Oh, okay, I'm just gonna leave it as is. Hold on, you guys. Give me a second. Okay, it's gonna be a little. So while I'm just fixing my phone stand here, just letting you know, I'm looking at 2 different cameras right now. So I'm looking here for the YouTube live stream, and I'm looking down here a little bit to you guys to, oh, sorry, up here for the Facebook live stream, and then down here for the YouTube live stream. And by the way, it doesn't matter whether you're watching me on YouTube or Facebook. You can actually comment, because this whole session is for you guys to ask me your questions. It can be about feng shui or about mindset or even about business, because some of you guys know that I'm starting to do some business coaching now. So Kadi, hey, great to see you. And those of you guys who are watching me on the YouTube, there, I actually, for both the YouTube and the Facebook, you guys can comment on the comment box below the video screen. Okay, so let me know what your questions are, because otherwise it's just going to be me talking to myself, and that's not the whole point of this live stream at all. I wanted this to be interactive. I want to hear from you guys, well, read your comments and questions so that I can actually give you guys answers. Definitely, I'm seeing people starting to come in. The numbers are climbing on both the Facebook and YouTube. So I know this is a very new thing for a lot of people. Facebook Live is still fairly new for me. I've been using the YouTube Live for a while now. But, you know, this is a great practice for everyone to get used to these new platforms. I mean, video is great for not just for business, but video is great for education, for communication with other people and all that. So Kadi's the very first one to comment on the Facebook Live, and I would love for you guys watching me on YouTube to also put in your questions as well. Because for the YouTube, I actually did enable chat, so you guys are able to okay. I saw a question come in from YouTube, but that kind of went away. Sorry, just give me a second. Not quite sure why. So someone asked me about astrology. Okay, so I'm gonna start it with this. I will answer your questions about feng shui as much as possible. Now, you know me. My general tips and techniques are still a little bit more in-depth compared to what other people are offering. But there is only so much information I can give you about feng shui without actually looking at your house. So in terms of feng shui, I'm going to try my best to give you tips and techniques that will work for you without actually running through Hey Nikki, welcome. You found it. Yay. I guess this being new, a lot of people are still kind of trying to wade through in terms of how to figure out how to jump on. But really for, for Facebook and YouTube, as long as you like me or you subscribe to me, you should be getting the notifications. So right off the bat, if you guys have any astrology questions, especially specific to your date time, your date of birth, I'm actually not going to answer that because you guys saw my previous live stream before about me not doing astrology anymore, especially one-off standalone astrology readings or astrology advice. I'm not doing that. Okay. For my feng shui consultation clients, I do include a little bit of astrological insights, but that's because it's a more holistic package as opposed to just looking at astrology on its own. Okay, so you guys, tell me what your questions are. I actually don't have, I have had a couple email to me because I did send out the news, the announcement about of this live stream to my mailing list. So I had two people who told me, who emailed back to me and said they couldn't watch me live, but they would like it if I can to answer their questions. Um, so I'll read that. But you guys definitely let me know what your questions are, be it feng shui or mindset or even on business. I'm taking business questions now too. Okay. So Cuddy is saying over at Facebook, I'm having issues with my teenager, almost 18, not having good relationship. Anything I can do in her room to cope or change energy? Her bedroom is southeast. Okay. So not having good relationship. So good relationship, either her own social relationships or your or relationship with the family. I would actually look at if this is a long Cuddy, if this is a long-standing issue, I would actually look both at the feng shui and the astrology, and not just Chinese astrology or any kind of character 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 study. So in the spiritual world, right, there's obviously the Chinese astrology, there's Western astrology, there's this thing called Enneagram, there's numerology. All these things can actually give you a little bit more insight in terms of your teenager. You did mention, oh, her, okay, in her room. So it's a daughter. Um, so that's one thing. You want to look at the astrology not so much as a forecast, but in terms of knowing what her characteristics are. What what are her strengths? What are her weaknesses? What is she feeling emotionally that could be contributing to her maybe having relationship or even communication issues with you guys. Um, so that's the one thing, okay? But don't just look at the astrology. I want you to also look at the feng shui side of things. So her bedroom being in, you mean southeast, right? So her bedroom in the southeast, again, because I don't have the full picture of your home, if I'm looking at just the annual energy, the annual energy is actually pretty good in terms of a southeast corner. So it's likely there is a chance that it's the permanent energy of your home that needs to be looked at. So, Kadi, I don't know if you looked at my 4-hour feng shui webinar, the one that I did, I think back in November. That will give you a little bit more placement specific to the period of your home and specific to the facing of your house in terms of that southeast corner. So you can take a look at that, because if I look at just the 2016 energy, it's actually really really good. So I have my Tessie board here just so you guys can follow me a little bit better. So remember, in feng shui, a proper placement in feng shui will address 3 levels of energy. Okay, if you guys can see my board. So the first one is permanent. The second one is annual. The third one is monthly. So the the one that you have more information on is obviously annual. You can Google Flying Star Feng Shui 2016. There are a lot of information out there. It's not very in-depth, but it does give you an idea about what kind of energy is in the southeast. And like I said, the energy in the southeast is actually quite positive this year, right? Um, so the next step for you is actually to maybe either get a feng shui consultant to take a look at the permanent energy of your home, and try to figure it out there. I did have a situation where a client, the daughter is actually highly depressed, and in fact suicidal. The issue actually was not in her astrology. The issue was in the feng shui of the home. And remember, the longer you are at in a house, the positive and or negative effects will really start taking hold of you. And they've been there, I believe, for at least 12 years. At least 12 years. And the daughter has been using that same room the whole time. And if you guys know Flying Star Feng Shui, you know we are scared of the number five. The five yellow in Chinese is called Wu Huang. In Cantonese is called Wu Wang, right? And her room has a permanent number five in her room, which coincides with health and relationships. So therefore, with her using that room for the whole 12-year period, that unfortunately really started working on that little, on the young lady in terms of her being depressed and feeling like it's hard for her to move ahead. Um, so I obviously we shifted, we did the remedies. So in with the number five, remember, a lot of metal, okay? And I'm going to be going through a lot of stuff that I may have touched on in my previous live streams, but these are the things that bear repeating over and over again. Is that proper use of feng shui? Forget about the laughing Buddha. Forget about putting a three-legged toad. Forget about putting the the chilin or whatever. Not to say that you can't. If you, it's more like a Chinese cultural thing, right? But proper feng shui really is the practice of knowing, learning about the five elements and remedying it based on that. So I'm actually going to take, because this is a very hot topic here. Oh, sorry about that, you guys. My babysitter came back, so she had to call me on my phone. Okay, so I'm just going to get rid of this. For those of you who are not familiar with the five elements, especially those of you who have been using fast food feng shui, and you guys know how I feel about that, this five element knowledge will be your basis on all your future feng shui placements. Okay? So, what are the five elements? Let's start with fire. Oh, sorry. I apologize with my writing, okay? I know I don't have the best writing. So fire, um, earth, metal, water, wood. And um, so what is the productive cycle? Fire produces more earth, earth produces metal, metal produces water, water produces wood, and wood produces fire. Okay? So, Kari, if or anyone else, if anyone's bedroom, for instance, has number five, and the number five is actually, sorry, let me go through the productive cycle first. So this is the productive cycle, and the this is the weakening cycle, which is actually the other way around. So the earth uh, weakens fire, fire weakens wood, wood weakens water, water weakens metal, and metal weakens earth. Okay? So black is the productive cycle, and red is the not the destructive, the weakening cycle. Okay? Now, the number 5 is an earth element. Okay? And it doesn't matter if it's the permanent energy or the annual energy or the monthly energy. First thing we look for actually is where's the number 5 for the, in terms of permanent, where's the number 5 annually, where's the number 5 monthly. So the number 5 being an earth element, what do you use to reduce the earth? More metal. Okay? And in terms of more metal, it can be anything actually. It can be a metal table, a metal cabinet, a metal statue. The heavier, the better. Okay? It could even be like a metal paperweight, like those decorative brass or copper things, especially if it's solid metal. They're small, but they're really, really heavy. And I have mentioned this before. If you have the number 5 in your bedroom, I've in fact recommended this to my clients. Those dumbbells plates, the dumbbell plates, they're like 20, 30 pounds a plate. Then just put it under the bed, and that reduces the number 5. Okay. I'm seeing questions coming through YouTube, but you know what? I actually don't see it on the screen here, so just bear with me a second. And I'm gonna see if it's actually on my channel. Okay, so, oh, Harun is in the Southwest. Okay, Kadi, my second question would be, is it a little bit more challenging this year or a little bit better this year? If you can tell me about that. Okay. You guys over on YouTube, I know questions are popping up, but for some reason I can't see the questions. Hold on. I'm trying to figure out where I can find them. Okay, so Kadi is saying it is more challenging. Okay, so that's a tip for me that, hey Nafisa, great to see you. Last year was better. Okay, so what's happening with this year? Why am I asking you if this year was a little bit more challenging? Is because the Southwest this year is visited by the number 8, which is another earth sign. So there's a small chance, again, Kadi, because I haven't looked at your whole house, there's a small chance that the permanent energy actually is number 5. So remember I said three levels of energy, right? Let me use a different, I prepared a ton of different colors for you guys for this one. Remember I said there's 3 different energies. So there's the permanent, annual, and the monthly. Okay. Oh, you guys, you probably can't see it. I'm just going to say here. There's the permanent, annual, and the monthly energy. So the annual energy in the Southwest this year, Kari, is the number 8, which actually is abundant, but it is an earth sign. And if it's harder for you this year for your daughter, there is a chance that the permanent energy is actually number 5. So with the permanent and the annual being the number 5, even though the number 8 is auspicious, it actually increases the number 5. You get what I'm trying to say? So usually in a situation, if a number 8, which is a prosperous number, flies into an area that has number 5, which is the most negative number, the most negative energy, it's actually hard to activate the positive of it, because both being earth signs, it actually increases. It's a double whammy in terms of the number 5. Okay. So that's what I have for her. And I'll Maria is asking, how would we know if we have the number 5? Gabby, I see your question. I'm going to come back to that. But Maria is asking, how will we know if we have the number 5? It is based on your, I wish I can, you guys can look up, I don't have this calculator, but you guys can look up Flying Star Feng Shui calculator, okay? Look up Flying Star Feng Shui calculator. They're gonna say, they're gonna ask you for two things. Most of the calculators, they will ask for the year the building was constructed, or the year the first tenants moved in. That is wrong, okay? You can use the calculator, but put in the year that you moved in, not the year of construction, not the year of prior tenants or prior owners moving in. Put in the year that you moved in, and then put in the facing of your house. Meaning you have to stand at the facing of your home and take a compass reading. Okay, the compass has 360 degrees, right? So figure out what's the compass reading, what's the degree on your compass, and put it in the calculator. So the calculator will tell you where the number 5 is. Okay, so wherever you have the number 5, you put in more metal. Okay, and Gabby is asking, what is good to have in the bedroom for migraines? I would actually put a salt cure by your bedside. Again, because I'm not looking at your home, I don't know what's going on energetically. I don't know what's going on structurally, but what you can do is do a salt cure. And again, you can Google how to do a salt cure. There's many different ways of doing it. My school does it a little bit differently. We do so take a pasta sauce jar, right? Pretend this is a jar, see-through. Fill it 2/3 of the way in clear sea salt, coarse sea salt. Put in 6 coins of the same denominations. Fill it with water and wrap the outside with aluminum foil. So Gabby, you can put that beside your bed. What it does is it absorbs the negative energy and it's going to start crystallizing around the jar. It may or may not get rid of your migraines completely, but give that a try. But just be careful not to touch the water in there and not to touch the crust once it starts forming. Okay? Because once you touch the salt cure, you actually will get sick. Because the whole point is for that salt cure to absorb the negative energy on your behalf. So when you touch it, it kind of, comes back to you again. So you definitely don't want that. Just give me a second. I'm still trying to figure out how I can watch. How I can watch, look at the comments on YouTube here. So sorry, it's my first time doing it with a different thing here. Live streaming. Okay, there you go. I think I found it. Okay, and Kari, so yes, so more metal, exactly. Okay. And so Nikki is asking, I am repurposing a small bedroom office into a large dressing room. Permanent energy is 6 and this year's annual energy is 7. Lots of metal. I know no banging around, but is there any other recommendations for that room color? No nos. Okay. Yes, it is a lot of metal there. Because the number 6 as the permanent energy is metal, and the number 7, which is the annual energy, is also metal. So I would actually put water in there, Nikki. Not moving water though. Not moving water. You can do the salt cure, and you can put like a pail of water in there. So that's one way. Or more blues. You can use more blues in that as well. Okay. And Rita is asking, I sat through one of your feng shui webinars and want to know if there are different monthly flying star charts for period 7, period 8 homes. I have been using your 2016 monthly calendar, which I believe is period 7. No, in fact, the monthly flying star chart is the same for everyone. It doesn't matter what period you are. Yeah. So Rita is talking about my beautiful, I printed out another copy here. My beautiful 2016 Chinese astrology calendar. So this is the month coming up. And this is the monthly star chart that Rita is talking about. Let me show you here. I'll show you the one in June because there was a mistake in the May one. Okay. So this is the monthly star chart. This is for everyone. Everyone, absolutely everyone. Okay. And by the way, if you guys want the Chinese astrology calendar, you can, it is a PDF download for $28. You can get your own copy. It's really, really good to plan your days. I'm going to put a plug here. So for every day, it tells you what's the element of the day, what's the day officer, like you see day officers like remove, full, balance, stable, and stuff like that. So that helps you plan your activities. So for your your business activities, like for meetings or even your career or whatever important activities you want to do, this is it's a very basic way of doing date selection, but it's better than not doing any form of date selection at all. And once you purchase this, in fact, if you get my 2016 Feng Shui webinar, which is $68, you actually get the calendar for free. It's $28. So for $68, you get my 4-hour webinar and you get the calendar. And the 4-hour webinar helps you with targeting the annual energy that is based on your permanent energy. Okay, so if you guys can't afford a full consultation either with me or with anyone else, I in fact highly recommend the 4-hour webinar because while I don't talk specifically about permanent energies, I do all my recommendations with the permanent energy in mind, if that makes sense. Okay. Nikki says, great, maybe the walls can be painted blue. Yes, the walls can be painted blue. Nikki says, this chart is great. I use it daily and manage my business with it. Exactly. I do my business with this too. Like you see me crossing out rat days. Like I have a rat day here crossed out. Actually, and another rat day here crossed out. This is to tell me not to do any important activities on those days, especially business activities. Because me being born the year of the horse, the rat day, the rat month, the rat year is going to be challenging for me. Okay. So CJ is saying, I just want to ask, I'm a sheep born and my partner is a tiger born. Any advice for us? Sheep born, you're fine this year. A tiger born, the tiger born is clashed with the monkey. So for the tiger born, I don't recommend amulets actually, except for this case. Okay. I don't believe in, carrying a certain type of god or whatever, but in this case, astrologically, whenever there is a clash, I recommend carrying what's called like a secret friend to take away the clash. So for everyone born in the year of the tiger, you can carry a snake. So it can be a snake on your keychain, if or a snake pendant, or if you have like those charm bracelets, maybe a little snake hanging there, preferably something that you can wear 24/7, or at least something that you will have on you when you're out. Okay. You guys on YouTube, I am so sorry. I can't seem to find your comments for some reason. I am trying to find the comments for you YouTube guys. View on watch page. Okay. Oh, I'm seeing the questions now. Okay, Raquel. Raquel is saying, over at YouTube, Raquel is asking what to improve on the house to help with new projects, new job, career change. My house door is southeast and I work from the west corner of the house. The southeast and the west actually, again, just looking at the annual energy is auspicious. Especially the southeast. The money energy is actually there this year. So I'm not sure what's going on permanent energy wise, but if your house door is in the southeast, then again, just based on the annual energy is actually a good thing. Oh, you work on the west corner of the house. Okay. If you were at the west corner of the house last as well, if you worked on the west corner last year, it probably was a fairly challenging time for you, wasn't it, Raquel? Um, the good news is the energy this year in the West is much more positive compared to last year. Last year, the number five, remember we were talking about the number five just earlier? The number five of all the flying stars, the number five is the most negative. So a lot of people who had their doors in the West, their bedrooms or their offices in the West, generally would have had a fairly challenging year. Again, this is just looking at Feng Shui. We're not even looking at astrology as yet, but just looking at Feng Shui. In 2016, the West should give you an easier time. It's generally good for academics and good for relationship, but even in terms of career, relationship also includes your relationship with your superiors, your relationship with your peers at work, and things like that. Okay. I actually have a couple of questions that was emailed to me. I'm not checking my email now, but I did cut and paste this one. So this one is, sorry, I have a fire truck coming through. Okay. So this one, this email that came in is, I've been following you for a while now, and it looks like you're starting to do business coaching. I'm wanting to start an online business, but I don't know where to start. It all seems so overwhelming. Website, mailing lists, logos, business cards, how to get clients. What would you recommend a new entrepreneur like me on where to focus first? Okay, so when you're first starting out in business, again, it doesn't matter if it's online or offline. I don't Being overwhelmed is actually the last thing that you want to be in. So in terms of a website, I would actually pare it down, like bring it down to basics. In terms of website, just do a one pager at least to tell people what your business is, what kind of products and services you offer, Susan, um, and then how to contact you. Okay. And then the next thing that you want to do is actually build a mailing list. It doesn't matter if again, offline or online, you need to capture your clients' email addresses. That way you can keep marketing to them. Like Susan, you got my email about this live stream because I emailed it out to you, right? I emailed out the announcement. I wouldn't have been able to do that if I didn't have your email address. So let's say someone, either potentially a client or already a client, buys a product or a service from you, you need a system to capture their email so that after that purchase, you can keep reconnecting with them, start building that relationship with them. So the next time they need your product or service, um, that you're first and foremost in their mind because you keep connecting with them, right? Not always through, not necessarily always through email, although that is the easiest and the most popular way, but it can be, through social media and all that. But even if you have people on social media, you still need a way to capture their email, because God knows one day YouTube might close my account or Facebook might close my account, knock on wood. And then I would lose all my followers. But if I have my email, I can still reach back to them and connect with them. So people say for businesses, the gold is in the list, and that is definitely true. Okay, but once you have the list, you build that relationship, because the that is the moneymaker in businesses nowadays, is how are you building relationships with your client. Okay, so do a one pager website. Don't spend your money or don't spend too much time building like a full-on website. At least a one pager is all you need to start. And then maybe I would say focus on two social media platforms. Like for me, for the longest time, it was YouTube, and as of last year was Facebook. And once you master those two social media, then you can branch out. Because I know there's many different types of social media. You can get yourself very much distracted. So don't do that. And also going back to this calendar here, okay, if you're doing any important business things like registering your business or launching your website or doing a discount day or whatever, use that calendar and figure out what are the best days to do those activities. That's one way to incorporate metaphysics in your business, which actually helps boost your success rate much better. Okay. And Susan, sorry, for the rest of you guys who don't have businesses, you know, uh, this may not be applicable to you, but Susan, if you want to go on my website, I actually have a free presentation for business people. It's just go on my website. It's my 3 pillars of business success webinar. It's a 2-hour webinar, and I'll give you a backstage insight into how I built my business. I make sure my feng shui is good. I make sure I do my date selection. I make sure my mindset is aligned with success, and I also make sure that my marketing is I'm on top of my marketing game. And all that has and in fact, I have a couple of clients in my current group program, my Stand Out and Prosper program. They're brand new business people, and I'm actually helping them build their business from the ground up in terms of helping them with their visibility and all that. So it may or may not be for you, Susan, but for now, I would love it for you to go on my website and look up my 3 pillars of business success presentation. Register for that. It's a 2-hour thing, and hopefully you'll get some tidbits and some insight as to how I do build my business holistically. Okay. So, and oh, you were talking about logos. Don't worry about logos, actually. Don't spend too much time on logos. Logos do not make you money. Okay. And maybe go out there and network. If you're a brick and mortar, you can go BNI, which is Business Networking International. It's a great way to put your name out there. Okay. And if you're online, you definitely need to do video. And I talk all about doing video in my Stand Out and Prosper program. Okay. Let me check YouTube if there are any other questions. Okay. Ash, is it Ash Gomez? Your question is year of the dot 1982 lucky to have a career this year? Uh, it could be. It could be a lucky year for you if you work hard, make sure your feng shui is good, make sure your mindset is good. That is key for everyone. It doesn't matter what the astrology says in terms of forecast. You know, again, I've done a live stream on this before. I don't believe in a lucky year or an unlucky year. Your year is what you make of it. Okay? If you have a clash, fine, remedy it. But a clash or an astrological challenge doesn't mean that it's going to be a bad year for you. If you make sure that your mindset is that you're optimistic, that you not work hard but work smart. I don't believe in working hard. Okay. Especially, I have 2 kids, I have a family. I have to be really picky in terms of um, where I spend my time. So each and every moment activity that I do for my life and my business needs to be smart, not hard. Okay. Um, I'm seeing more questions come in from YouTube, but I'm not sure where the. I'm only seeing one comment here so far. Let me just refresh my YouTube one. Maybe it's there. Any other questions from you guys? Okay. I love this. I don't know if it's a Filipino thing, but I get a lot of this more power from my Filipino viewers. I really, really like that. Everything is like more power, more power. I like that. Rita is asking, I now understand that the annual charts are the same for everyone. When does the period of the home come into play? The period of the home is always in play. So let me just, I know it's a little bit confusing, but I'll go through it again. Maybe in a slightly different, I'll explain it in a slightly different way. Okay. So again, there's three different types of energy. Okay, you guys? Permanent, annual, monthly. The annual and the monthly energy changes the same way it does for everyone. Okay, just like on this calendar here, this chart is the monthly flying star chart. If you guys want to see, you see, right? I'm just gonna, like, you see the number 1 in the northeast, number 3 in the north, number 8 in the northwest, 9 in the west, 4 in the southwest, 2 in the south, 6 in the southeast, 5 in the east. So that's for June, okay, between June 5th to July 6th. The date is a little bit different because it's based on Chinese calendar. So the first day of the Yangwood Horse Day actually starts June 5th. And as of June, and for June 5th till July 6th, this is the monthly chart for everyone. It doesn't matter what your period is. Okay? So the calendar talks about the monthly, and then the annual chart is also the same for everyone. It doesn't matter what the period is. So the period of the home, which is what Rita is asking, and right now most homes are period 7 or period 8. Your home is in period 7 if you moved in between 1984 to 2004. If you moved into your house prior to 1984, then you're most likely period 6 or even older. Like if it's like a family home and your family has been there for, let's say, like 6 generations, no one has moved out, like there's always been family living in that home, then the period of your home could be like way older, right? um so so between 1984, I can write that down here. So 1984 till 2004, you're period 7. Okay, and between 2004 till 2024, so it's a 20-year period. If you can see, you're in period 8. So this comes into play the moment you move into your home. The moment you moved into your home, you're already locking in the period of your home. Again, not the year of construction, not the year that the first owners or the first tenants move in. Okay? That's a big distinction, because a lot of the calculators online that helps you calculate your flying star, they ask for your construction year or they ask for the period, the year people move in. It's not accurate. I know it's a very controversial thing to say, but the way that I've been trained, and we have had many case studies, and even myself in my 8 years as a feng shui consultant, I have seen that doing the period of your home based on the year you moved in is much more accurate than the construction year. Okay, so really all these levels of energy is always in play. That's the thing about classical feng shui, the and that's the reason why people, I can understand people gravitate towards fast food feng shui, because it's easier. But easier to understand, easier to implement. But easier doesn't mean it works. And some of you guys may be experiencing this already. right? You're doing your placements based on fast food feng shui that do not talk about permanent, annual, or monthly energy, and hardly getting any results. I'm right, right? Hardly any results. It's because, again, that's fast food feng shui. This is really the right way of doing it. If you want to do the permanent energy, the it is better to actually do a feng shui consultation. It doesn't have to be with me. It can be with other practitioners, but really do your homework in terms of where they are trained. Because so Matt is asking, has Safrina, does the size of one's bed ultimately something? Oh, I'm only seeing partially the YouTube comments. I'm not sure why it's not showing for me, you guys. I'm so sorry. I'm not intentionally. Oh, I think there's a lag here. Now I'm seeing Maria's comment. Now I'm seeing Maria's comment. So Maria, how can I get accurate feng shui reading and cures if we are only renting a master bedroom and all the other things are in and that all our things are inside the room? Uh, it's the same. Even if you're just renting one room out of a building or one room out of a condo or whatever, it's the same. Figure out what direction is your room and figure out what is the energy in that room. If you're not able to do the permanent placements, at the very least, figure out what's the energy annually in your room and do it based on that. And I'm going to do another plug on my 4-hour webinar, not because, only because I know the information is something that you guys need. So for the 4-hour webinar, I do talk about the annual energy, but my recommendations are based on the permanent energy of your home. I actually don't have, let me see if I can find it. But so I actually, especially if you're period 7 or period 8 homes, if you moved into your home prior to period 8, meaning prior to 1984, then the recording will be of no use to you. I'm sorry. But 1984 onwards, then the 4-hour webinar will actually tell you how to do your placements for each of the direction based on your period. Okay, so it is $68 to get the 4-hour webinar, but it's way cheaper than a full consultation with me or with anyone else for that matter. But I can assure you that the placements will be correct. Okay, so if you guys are worried about your permanent placement, at the very least get that. It's not like a full consultation, obviously, but it will tell you how to do your feng shui placements for 2016 that also incorporate your permanent energies. Okay. I'm checking for more. I'm checking for more questions here. I'm not seeing it on. Give me a second, you guys. Okay. Okay, I'm seeing Matt's question now. Matt says, does the size of one's bed ultimately dictate or determine one's relationship luck? Can you say the same with having a headboard or lack thereof? As of right now, I sleep on a twin low height and I don't have a headboard. Okay. I'm so glad you asked this question, Matt, because that is, I'm sorry, I'm not joshing you or whatever, but this is something that I have seen online in terms of, oh, this is so important, but it actually isn't. So in terms of relationship luck, even with you having a twin bed, it doesn't matter. It doesn't mean that you're not saving space for your partner. That's bad feng shui. That's got nothing to do with feng shui. In fact, when I attracted my husband, I had a twin bed. I just made sure that the feng shui was good, right? And not having a headboard, it doesn't matter. The important thing is having a solid support behind your head. So headboard or no, you, okay, look at it this way. Even if you have a, I'm gonna, I don't know if I should be drawing, but even if you have a headboard, but if it's floating in the middle of the room, not having an actual wall behind it, that's still bad feng shui, right? So the issue is not the headboard. The issue is, do you have a solid support behind you? And I have, based on the feng shui energies of the space, I have recommended my clients to put their um, the head of their bed under a window. But my caveat is make sure that you have like really thick curtains or thick blinds, and make sure that they're covered when you're sleeping to make it look like there's a solid wall. And I've had clients getting really, really good results after they move their bed that way. Okay, so Matt, um, sleeping on a twin bed, having a low height bed, and not having a headboard, that's not a feng shui issue at all. You can sleep well. Just make sure. I don't know if you moved. I know you were looking at moving out, but the important thing really is to make sure that the location of your bed is good. Hi, Rick. He says, greetings from Costa Rica, Pura Vida. Hey, Costa Rica. Would love to be there right now. Or actually, the weather in Toronto is getting nicer now, so it's okay. um, any other questions, you guys? So we are at 2:53. I might take one more question, otherwise I will end it because I only have my babysitter for the next 7 minutes. Okay, so I'm so for all of you guys, I this was fun. I know it was very last minute, and I'm so happy to see that we've got really good turnout. In fact, I have like 20 people on YouTube and another 30 people on Facebook. So that's great for something that I just announced about an hour or so ago. I'm so glad you guys can join me, and you guys had really, really good questions. Um, and definitely we'll stay in touch on YouTube, on Facebook, and on all the other social media. Kadi is asking, can I do salt cure in her room? Yes. And Pao Pao Lim is asking, is there any good luck for me? There's good luck for everyone. There is good luck for everyone. This year will be great for you if you make sure your feng shui is good, your mindset is good, your actions are good, you're not self-sabotaging, and you work smart. Then, Pao Pao, it'll be a good year for you. Okay, that's going to be my facetious reply for every astrological question from now on. I'm sorry. It's just how I'm going to be addressing that from now. Okay, you guys have a very, very good rest of your day. And thank you so much for joining me. I am so humbled and so honored that you guys are able to spend 1 hour with me. And thanks so much for the awesome, awesome questions. Take care.